Breaking tonight, the massive COVID-19 relief bill hitting a roadblock. President Trump throwing a wrench into the plans. Why he's asking Congress to amend the legislation. What this could mean for direct payments.
Plus the holidays, mental health, and COVID-19. Tonight, the tools available to help people struggling during this difficult time.
And vaccine shipments continue to arrive here in North Carolina. Tonight, a Triangle doctor breaking down the key differences between the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Eyewitness News is next.
See what's happening this instant. ABC 11 Eyewitness News at 10 on CW22 starts right now.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000.
Breaking tonight, the future of the $900 billion COVID-19 relief deal now in doubt. President Trump calling on Congress to amend the legislation. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Joel Brown, in for Steve Daniels in the Breaking News Center tonight. And we start with that big tweet from President Trump this evening threatening to block that nearly $1 trillion COVID relief bill that Democrats and Republicans worked for months to pass in Congress. The president listing his grievances in that video he tweeted out just hours ago. He says he wants Congress to get rid of what he called wasteful and unnecessary items from the bill and send him a more suitable one. The president says the bill delivered too much money to foreign countries, not enough for Americans.
Despite all of this wasteful spending and much more, the $900 billion package provides hardworking taxpayers with only $600 each in relief payments, and not enough money is given to small businesses, and in particular restaurants, whose owners have suffered so grievously.
But President Trump's Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin had said those $600 payments would be coming to Americans starting next week. It's important to note the Senate and House approved the measure in a very lopsided vote that would be enough to override a presidential veto. And this just in, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi responding to the president's call to amend the relief bill, tweeting her support for $2,000 direct checks and that Democrats are willing to bring this to the House floor this week. Some Republicans have been against direct payments of more than $600, saying it'll cost too much for the government in the long run.
Don't get numb to these numbers. They have plateaued a bit over the last few weeks, but they are too high. We have strong safety protocols in place right now, and we have to keep following them.
Also tonight, Governor Cooper out with a new warning just days away from Christmas. He says the virus continues to spread rapidly and is urging people to avoid traveling and large gatherings over the holidays. The latest county alert system shows more than 90% of North Carolina counties designated as red or orange, which means critical or substantial levels of community spread. In the past 2 weeks, the number of counties in the red has increased from 48 to 65. Meanwhile, this holiday season may be an especially challenging time for people struggling with their mental health. Josh Chapin here now with more on the tools available to help.
There's no doubt this has been a difficult year. We have all been through it in one way or the other. Experts tonight suggest focusing this holiday season on what you can control versus on what you can't, and not being afraid to reach out for help. It's a place of comfort on Christmas and throughout the year. But the pews will not be packed this week as they usually are at the Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral in Raleigh, nor likely at any house of worship around the Triangle.
On Thursday night, Christmas Eve, we will be worshiping virtually for the first time in our church's history.
Joe Castile is the pastor of First United Methodist in Roanoke Rapids.
An opportunity not to put anyone else at risk.
He said he's been getting frequent calls from people who are struggling as a result of the pandemic and isolation of thinking about yet another holiday alone.
I encourage you to take advantage of these resources.
Pastor Castile today suggesting the Hope for NC hotline set up by the Department of Health and Human Services for folks to deal with stress. There's also the NC Hope for Healers, a line specifically designed for healthcare workers.
There are things that really take their toll on the individual.
Dr. Mehul Menkad is Chief Medical Officer for Alliance Health.
When people are in crisis, The worst case scenario is that they direct violence towards themselves or possibly others.
Though all the numbers aren't in tonight, Dr. Menkad said they've seen skyrocketing substance abuse rates from the pandemic, especially within adolescents. The suicide rates aren't going in the right direction either.
We're going to be dealing with the burden of what we've all been through for a very long time.
There's also the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which focuses on veterans in crisis, so that's another resource in addition to the tip lines we mentioned. Dr. Menkad said while virtual services this week might not feel the same, it might not have the same aura, it is still better than being alone. In Morrisville, I'm Josh Chapin, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Josh, thanks. And you can see Josh's full interview with the doctor right now on demand on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for ABC 11 North Carolina and download that free app to your TV.
Meantime, more than 24,000 healthcare workers in North Carolina have been vaccinated. Governor Cooper says the state expects to receive about 60,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine this week and 176,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine. But health officials say supplies of the vaccine are very limited right now, and it's going to take months to vaccinate everyone who wants the shot. Tonight, with both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines going out, we are breaking down the key differences between the two vaccines. DeJuan Hoggard with more.
As doses of the Moderna vaccine makes its way to facilities across the U.S., I spoke with a doctor from Duke, and we took a closer look at the differences between both vaccines and its impact on the virus that is crippling our nation, all without apology.
Less than a week ago, the Food and Drug Administration granting emergency use authorization for Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine, giving America a much-needed boost.
From a vaccine development perspective, honestly, I think they're equivalent. I wouldn't favor one over the other, and the data for both look almost identical.
Duke's Dr. Tony Moody saying there is nothing to worry about regarding Moderna, despite Pfizer being pushed out to the market first.
Everything has happened very quickly, not unsafely, but very quickly. The differences are really going to be in some subtle things about how they're formulated.
Pfizer must be stored at an ultra-cold temperature and is good for people over the age of 16. Moderna does not require a temperature as cold and is available for those 18 and up.
Here, we typically think of 18 as being an adult. There are plenty of parts of the world where 16 is considered an adult. There are other parts of the world where it might be 20 or 21. And in some sense, those distinctions are a little arbitrary. There's not much to worry about.
What has caused worry, headlines of several allergic reactions to the Pfizer vaccine, and if the same will happen with Moderna. Dr. Moody believes it comes from a molecule called polyethylene glycol, or PEG for short, shared by both vaccines.
There's no reason to think that one would be less likely to give you an allergic reaction than the other. The important thing to know is that the reactions are rare. But when you start rolling out a vaccine in a large population, you're going to see more and more of these things because you're vaccinating more and more people.
This afternoon, Pfizer and the White House close to striking a deal for millions of more doses of its vaccine, just as a new mutated strain of the virus makes its way across the UK.
Until we see information that suggests this is more virulent and causing more disease, I don't think it's anything to be worried about. We may very well have this variant in the United States and just haven't been looking for it in exactly the same way.
Instead, Dr. Moody says we should be focusing on wearing a mask, washing our hands, and maintaining social distance. In downtown Raleigh, DeJuan Hoggard, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
DeJuan, thank you. Now let's take a look at those key COVID-19 metrics tonight as North Carolina sets a new record for people in the hospital. The number of hospitalizations surpassing 3,000 for the first time. We're also seeing an increase in new cases, 5,255 reported over the last 24 hours. The percentage of tests coming back positive slightly higher than yesterday at 11.1%, and sadly 51 more people have died from the virus.
Now to the rush to get tested before the Christmas holiday. Today we found several drive-through testing sites across central North Carolina with long lines of cars. People flocking to a testing location in Wake Forest today. We also found people waiting in Durham at El Centro's free testing site. And Chopper 11 also flying over Manna Church in Fayetteville. Meanwhile, Wake County officials are expecting another increase in demand for testing after the holidays.
People that are coming back from travel and probably are getting back home or want to go back to work, will require some testing. So we're going to see high demand in testing throughout the new year.
And we have a list of some free drive-through locations right now on abc11.com.
Tonight, as we await the next steps in Washington, food banks continue to see a surge, more and more people in need of help. The COVID relief bill passed by Congress provides much needed support to food aid programs across the country. Michael Lozano talking to the director of a local food bank about what those federal dollars could mean for the community.
As the COVID-19 pandemic's impact continues to know no bounds, the amount of homes dealing with food insecurities keeps climbing.
But people are really struggling, and it's people you've never seen before come to a pantry.
David Griffin is the director of Action Pathway's Second Harvest Food Bank of Southeast North Carolina. In 2020, he says they've helped 40% more people, working hard all year to meet the demand.
It's been a challenge, but a challenge that we welcome because that's part of our mission.
More need means more hours and more money. Griffin says the regular funding and generous donors have kept them going.
From transportation, you still get your normal day-to-day thing you're doing, but now with the increased amount of folks out there, it's put another burden on the food bank and it taxes you and your resources.
Guys, where are we at?
But more help could be on the way if a stimulus bill is finally approved. Congress's most recent relief package would send $13 billion to nutrition assistance for food insecure Americans.
And that is a blessing to those that we serve, the people that I see, the families that I see.
If they were to see some money from a future relief package, Griffin says it will help his staff and volunteers meet the ever-growing demand right now and in the coming months.
Most people might run away from some of the COVID hotspots. We try to run towards them and try to make sure we go to those spots where we know people are going to need assistance.
Those mass food distributions have been happening all year long, and they're going to have another big one tomorrow morning. With the help of the National Guard, they're hoping to pass out enough food for around 500 people. We'll put all those details up on our website, abc11.com. I'm in Fayetteville, Michael Lozano, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Michael, thanks. Next and new tonight, the Department of Justice taking aim at Walmart. Why the feds say the retail giant helped to fuel the opioid crisis.
Plus, digging deeper into hospitalizations. Here in the Triangle, what the latest data tells us about hospital capacity.
And a Wake County man looking at the past to pull off a unique marriage proposal. It's a story you have to see right here. And Brittany Bell standing by with our holiday forecast.
And tomorrow will be nice and quiet, but big changes arrive on Christmas Eve. Get ready for rain and even some storms. I'll break down our rain chances after the break.
The Baxter's Block Party is bringing down the house.
Be honest, how old do I look?
45.
I'll be serious.
45.
Not that serious.
Last man standing.
When celebs break up, hook up, screw up, shape up, crack up, prenup, lock up, clean up, TMZ's there!
Tonight at 10:35 on CW22.
I'm afraid not even the charmed ones can survive the death of all magic.
Charmed. January 24th on CW22.
Tonight, the I-Team is digging deeper into the record number of COVID-19 patients in the hospital and how our local facilities are adjusting to those numbers. According to the latest federal data, top hospitals across the region are reporting more than 3/4 of their hospital beds are full. Duke University Hospital topping the list with patients occupying 97% of its beds on average each day. Capacity numbers haven't changed much compared to the week before, and COVID patients make up only a small percentage of our top hospitals' overall patients. The latest data shows WakeMed with one of the largest daily averages of COVID-19 patients in its hospital beds at 22%. State health officials say bed capacity is not their top concern. Rather, it's the ability to staff those beds. You can read the full I-Team report on abc11.com.
A portrait from a painful time in history removed from the North Carolina Supreme Court courtroom. The portrait of former Chief Justice Thomas Ruffin will be replaced by a seal of the state Supreme Court. Ruffin served as Chief Justice from 1833 to 1852. He owned slaves and authored opinions as Chief Justice defending slavery.
The federal government is taking Walmart to court over its alleged role in the nation's opioid crisis. The Justice Department filing a lawsuit against the retail giant giant, accusing it of helping to fuel the crisis through its sales practices. The suit claims that Walmart's cut rate prices on prescription painkillers drew customers in droves. Managers then pressured pharmacists to work faster, hoping the customers would stay in the stores and keep shopping. But as a result of that, pharmacists found it difficult to turn away customers with invalid prescriptions. According to the lawsuit, Walmart pharmacies eventually became a leading supplier of addictive painkillers. However, Walmart filed a preemptive countersuit back in October. It's accusing the government of trying to scapegoat the company for its own failures.
New tonight, Chinese scientists making a discovery when it comes to the moon using artificial intelligence. They estimate that there are more than 100,000 craters on the lunar surface. That's far more than the officially recognized number of 9,100. China recently became only the third country to successfully collect rocks from the moon.
The spirit of giving on display in the Bull City tonight. Volunteers at the Durham Rescue Mission spreading Christmas cheer for our neighbors who may be in need this holiday season. Tonight they are grilling up hams and turkeys as well as bagging toys ahead of tomorrow's drive-through toy and meal giveaway. The event starts tomorrow at noon over at the Durham Rescue Mission on East Main Street.
Well, it's an annual Christmas tradition at Durham's Hillside High School, and this year it's going virtual. The Triangle Performance Ensemble presents its first virtual performance of Black Nativity Durham. This is the 14th year Hillside drama director Wendell Tabb is co-producing the holiday musical with Xavier Carson. The performance, originally conceived by Langston Hughes, is a soulful gospel celebration about the birth of Christ. This year, due to COVID-19 restrictions, the often sold-out event is streaming online until the end of December. Go to abc11.com for a link to order tickets that range in price from $10 to $15. And Brittany, we have some weather coming up. I'm thinking about preparing for Christmas by having to clean up my yard.
Yeah, you might have to, especially some of the Christmas decorations, and that's because on Christmas Eve, it's going to be wet, also windy, even outside of that chance for strong storms. We'll have winds gusting as high as 30 to 40 miles per hour during the day. But on Christmas Day, really improving significantly. We'll see more sunshine. It is going to be quiet, but temperatures will drop down into the upper 30s and low 40s. Highs struggling to get out of the 30s across parts of the area. Rain chances really ramp up on Thursday, and that's all due to that cold front moving in. We stay dry throughout the weekend, but we'll see more rain pushing in throughout the start of next week. Currently, though, turning chilly, already below freezing in Roxborough and Oxford. Oxford is 29 degrees, 30 degrees in Roxborough, 33 in Rocky Mount, and 36 degrees in Clinton. Skies are nice and clear across the entire state, more the same nearby. Really not seeing much in the way of cloud cover or even rainfall. That's all due to high pressure, but this quiet weather will quickly come to an end. And that's because that high will start to shift to the east tomorrow. In return, we'll be watching a really strong cold front approaching from the west. That front will also have an area low pressure. That low will help to draw in warm and moist air, pumping in highs that will climb into the upper 60s, even the low 70s in some spots. And then on top of that, we'll see just a round of showers and storms. Some of those storms could be severe. More about that in just a few. But behind that cold front, we'll have much cooler air streaming in, dropping down highs well below average. Here's a closer look at the timing of our rain chances. Thursday morning, we could see a few isolated showers, but late that morning as we get closer towards noon, scattered light to moderate rain here and there, more the same throughout the afternoon. But around 5 to 6 p.m., we'll start to have just a line of showers and storms getting closer across our western counties. That line will continue to move to the east throughout the evening, and then all of that rain pushing off to the east as well overnight Friday. And then by Friday morning around dawn, things dry out and we'll also have mostly clear skies. With that warm air in place, we could see an isolated severe storm. Most of us are under a marginal risk, a higher risk for severe weather along and east to I-95. Damaging winds will be the main concern. We also could see rainfall totals as high as 1 to 1.5 inches, could lead to some localized flooding. Tonight, temperatures down into the upper 20s, low 30s, clear skies. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy conditions, still fairly nice with highs a few degrees warmer in the mid to upper 50s. For the rest of our 7-day forecast, powered by AccuWeather, much colder on Christmas. We'll have highs upper 30s, low 40s throughout the weekend, and more sunshine. Pretty chilly on Saturday, down to 43 degrees, 50 degrees on Sunday, and then by Monday we'll have a few showers across the area with highs dropping back down into the upper 40s on Tuesday. So we're not going to have a white Christmas, but it is going to be pretty chilly with temperatures struggling to get out of the upper 30s across parts of the area. Tisha, Joel.
Cold, but still better than a wet, rainy Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah. It'll feel like holiday weather.
There you go.
That's
there
right.
You go. Brittany, we're all agreed. Thank you. Well, she said yes at Wake Tech. 2 former classmates at Wake Tech getting engaged this afternoon in the very same classroom where they first met back in 2017. That's Jacob Keller. He popped the question to Meredith Roach in the couple's old English classroom. Jacob says with the pandemic going on and not a lot of places to go, he thought that classroom would be just the perfect place to propose. He contacted Wake Tech staff members and arranged to decorate the class before the big proposal. Congrats to the happy couple. They look great.
They do. Best of luck to you. Well, listen up, you last-minute shoppers. Christmas Eve shopping will look different this year. Up next, the hours at most major retailers, so you need to know if you head out Thursday.
Hi, I'm Master Sergeant Ryan McCauley. Season's greetings from North Carolina, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. From Salem, Oregon, just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Raleigh transportation officials giving us an update on the Tryon Road widening project. Work is underway to widen the road between Lake Wheeler and Parr Drive. Today we learned the historic stone wall that stood in front of the Raleigh Golf Association has been disassembled by hand and is being stored. Once the project is complete, the wall will be reassembled by hand.
Just like everything else this year, last-minute Christmas Eve shopping will look different as well. You may see long lines outside stores because they're limiting capacity inside. Most major retailers will be open until 6 p.m. like Walmart, Kohl's, and Macy's. Target staying open a couple of extra hours until 8 p.m. on Christmas Eve. And you can find a full list right now on abc11.com.
Rideshare company Lyft says it will provide 60 million rides to and from vaccination sites for low-income, uninsured, and at-risk communities. The initiative will include transportation to and from their destination, as well as rides for their second and final dose. Lyft partnered with several organizations like the United Way, National Hispanic Council on Aging, and Anthem. National and local nonprofit partners will distribute ride credits to people who need them.
People who use fitness trackers walk about an extra mile a day. Researchers looked at dozens of studies comparing the exercise activity of about 7,500 people with and without a tracking device or phone app. Overall, people walked an average of nearly 2,000 more steps, or about a mile, if they used a tracking app. The study authors say that doctors may want to consider prescribing such apps and trackers for patients looking to get into better shape.
NC State upsetting the UNC Tar Heels on the basketball court tonight. Joe Mazur's got highlights and post-game reaction next in sports.
Happy holidays from the CW22.
Now, ABC 11 Eyewitness News Sports.
No fans and lots of rookies make the 239th meeting between North Carolina and NC State a unique experience. The Wolfpack started hot and was strong enough down the stretch to upset the 17th-ranked Tar Heels. State couldn't miss for a stretch, in particular Shaquille Moore, who scored 10 straight points for the Wolfpack, a couple of threes, and then after cleaning up this UNC mess, a strong two-handed finish. The Pack up by 8. More. Shake and bake time and a pull-up 3. The freshman a perfect 5 of 5 to that point. Part of a 15-2 run. 7th time this season UNC has trailed by double digits at the half, and it gets worse. Cam Hayes, another newcomer, a big 3. State's up 17 at one point. Heels show some fight. They close the half on a 9-zip run. Armando Bacot scoring inside in its 49-42 Pack at the break. Second half, Shaquille Moore doing his part not to let this one slip away. Charging baseline and throwing down 2 of his 17. Heels keep coming. Andrew Platek and 1. 3-point play cuts the lead to 1, 63-62. That's when Devin Daniels took over. 8 straight points for the senior in a variety of ways as he stretches the lead again. Daniels could have made it a 4-point game in the dying seconds, but instead, Carolina gets 2 chances at the tie. Both R.J. Davis and Caleb Love can't hit to send the game to overtime, and NC State gets the win, 76.
I'm telling you, I'm so happy. Just during the game, I could feel the growth with this team. You know, this was a whole team effort. Even the guys who didn't get in the game, we felt their energy on the court.
You know, State, we've been hammering them pretty good for several years. They're tired of that. And I think the difference in the game to me was their sense of urgency early in the game.
North Carolina shot just 2 of 12 from three-point land tonight, falling to 5-3 on the season. Meanwhile, the Wolfpack improved to 5-1 as both teams now enjoy a Christmas break. Joe Mazur, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Joe Mazur, thank you. And thank you for joining us for Eyewitness News at 11. Join us in the morning for more ABC 11 and the latest Eyewitness News.
And we will see you again tomorrow night for Eyewitness News at 10 right here on the CW22. Have a great night, everyone.
TMZ up next, brought to you by 86 It.